Hey, what's going on everybody? Zombie here, and we just got a ton of information for Borderlands 4. The Gearbox team held a devcast, and within that video, they showed off the new bounty pack, which is paid DLC, the Takedown, which will be free for everybody, and the newest Vault Hunter. The bounty pack and the Takedown come out on June 25th, which is Thursday, and the new Vault Hunter comes out in September. So we'll talk about the bounty pack first. It is called Zane Kill 4. And within this DLC, you're going to be helping Zane figure out the murder of one of his digiclones. He's getting older now and he's starting to lose his memories, so he's backed up his memories onto different digiclones that he's stored within an arcade machine. And one of the digiclones were killed, so you're tasked to discover who got into the machine and killed his clone. And along with the story missions that are in the DLC, we're also going to be getting new bosses and 2 new mini bosses. And the whole theme and environment is like a neon noir city type of thing. So lots of bright colors and stuff like that. It looks absolutely fantastic. And then they also confirmed glitched enemies, which can teleport around or swap places with other enemies. They didn't really go into too much detail on them, but it's definitely going to add a pretty interesting dynamic with having to track multiple enemies that can just teleport and swap places with each other. And in the devcast, they did show off that you can play inside of an arcade. So you'll be playing Borderlands, go inside of an arcade cabinet to be able to play in an arcade and do whack-a-mole and bowling and all kinds of arcade games and stuff like that. And they did mention that within the DLC, there's going to be a new Pearl and 6 new legendaries to find. And with the launch of the DLC, they're also rolling out a new vault card that is completely themed around that neon look. It's going to be 4 new pieces of gear, 4 heads and skins that you can use on all the Vault Hunters, 5 weapon skins, 5 vehicle skins, 4 echo skins, and 2 echo attachments. So the heads and skins for the Vault Hunters essentially can be used by all. I'm assuming that when the new Vault Hunter comes out towards the end of the year, that they will also get those skins automatically. Next, we're going to be talking about the Takedown. This will be a free piece of content for everybody, also releasing on the 25th of June. And it is the Takedown at Hadron Abyss. And this does take place in a secret underwater facility. And it is starting to break down and starting to leak and all kinds of stuff. And it's going to be similar to the Borderlands 3 takedowns. You got to go do your mobbing areas and then you'll fight bosses until you get to the end where you fight the raid boss. And throughout the takedown, with you doing your mobbing sections, you are also going to have to do 3 mini bosses, and then at the end you'll do your final boss or your raid boss. They didn't call it a raid boss, but I assume it's got to be pretty difficult. And the boss at the end is the child of Terramorphous. So that's a nice little callback to Borderlands 2 with their first raid boss that they had at the launch of the game. But apparently his child is not a raid boss, but maybe he really is, but they just didn't call it that. So if that's the case, I guess it would be the child of Terramorphous, the Invincible. That's kind of the humor that Borderlands likes, so maybe they'll do that. They have stated that this is going to be the hardest piece of content that they will have available. So even harder than Bloom Reaper and Thul and Subjugator. So you'll need to make sure that you are absolutely geared to the teeth and just ready for everything. They will have a time-based challenge. After you beat it for the first time, you can do a time trial, but unlike the Subjugator and Thul fight where the timer starts as soon as you get to the final boss, this will start as soon as the doors open for the takedown. So it's the entire takedown from start to finish, really putting you on that time crunch. And I'm sure if you beat it within a certain amount of time, like the Bloom Reaper fight and Subjugator fight, if you beat it within a certain time limit, you get better rewards at the end. But they haven't confirmed that, so we'll just have to kind of guess, right? They've also put mayhem levels back into the game, but is only going to be what seems exclusive to the takedown. So you'll beat it once and then you can increase the mayhem levels just like in Borderlands 3, but in order to unlock them you have to beat the takedown on the previous mayhem level. They didn't say how many mayhem levels are going to be, but if it's like Borderlands 3 where there's 10 of them, you will have to beat the takedown 10 or 11 times in order to unlock all of those mayhem levels, and each mayhem level is going to increase the health and damage of the enemies. And for the really hardcore people who want an absolute impossible challenge, they will have a hardcore mode. as well. And activating the hardcore mode will give the enemies modifiers and stuff like that, like the elemental eater and the link and all that kind of stuff. All the stuff that we kind of really don't like, but it's for the hardcore mode, so it is a challenge. But also within that mode is if you're playing in co-op and one of your teammates die, you all die and you will have to restart from the beginning. So, you know, you really got to make sure like you and your team are like one unit. They did give us a quick little look of the loot that we will be able to unlock from the Takedown. We're going to get a pearlescent weapon, which I'm guessing will only drop from terramorphous at the end. And then we will also get 9 new legendaries. 5 of that will be weapons. You'll get a shield, a rep kit, grenade, a like heavy ordnance, so like rocket launchers and the disc launchers, stuff like that, and 5 new class mods. But that will be 6 whenever the new Vault Hunter releases in September. So yeah, let's talk about that new Vault Hunter. Her name is Loveless, and she is an ex-ancient hacker turned into assassin. And she has a bunch of cybernetic implants that is going to be her like action skills. And then she shares her mind with a digital virus that she created, and that can digistruct into a physical form, kind of like Gage and Deathtrap. You can like digistruct him and he'll go and attack. It's going to be kind of like the same thing there. There's not like a specific release date for her. They just say in early September. So when it gets a little closer to that, then I'm sure we'll have a solid release date for that. And that'll be with a story pack as well. And they did announce the Bounty Pack 4, which is called Murders and Acquisitions. And that will release on July 30th. And then 2 months later, we'll have the story pack, the Vault Hunter, and then another Bounty Pack, all in September. Yeah, I mean, overall, like these updates and stuff look fantastic. I do love the look of the Zane DLC. It's very like cyberpunk-esque. And like, you know, bright neon lights. It's very colorful. It's really like in the tone of Borderlands. And then the Takedown, I'm sure, you know, that'll be crazy. You'll see all kinds of like crazy speedruns and stuff like that. But hopefully like no immune phases and stuff in this Takedown. We'll have to see. It looks great. I love the fact that, you know, Terramorphous's child is like back for revenge or something, you know. Yeah, there'll be plenty of content coming out June 25th. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.